Welcome to Community Center, a show that features people in the community doing good things. Now, here are your hosts, Debbie O'Handley and Margi Kyle.
Hey Margie, happy Tuesday. How you doing?
Terrific.
Awesome. I'm Debbie O'Handley, a host of Your Community Centered with my friend Margie Kyle, another host and the owner, founder extraordinaire of Little Smiles, North Carolina.
That's why I wear a big smile.
I've never seen you sad, even in some hard times.
Oh, well,
Yeah. You do a good job of
Thank
putting
you.
smiles on
Yeah.
people's faces, so
Yeah.
thank you for that. What's going on?
well, I went to the swearing in last night of the Cornelius officials, and that was
Mayor Washam?
wonderful.
Oh, how wonderful is
Yeah.
that? I know that was a
Yeah.
close call.
Very close.
It got a little too close for comfort, I
Yes.
would think, in a certain respect. So I'm glad to see him back in office, and I'm going to do some more great things for this community.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
else is going on?
Just getting organized for Christmas, and that's why I
Are you
called our
fa-la-lying?
guest.
Are you fa-la-lying?
No, I'm starting on Saturday with a party at my house for our little community.
That's
I
awesome.
figured it's time to meet my neighbors.
Okay. You know what? That's one way to do it. Food and holiday. Nothing says friends like food and cheer, right?
That's right.
Well, I am super excited about our guest today. I have some mutual friends that knew Tim. It's kind of a long story how we actually ended up meeting. And then when I started spreading his name around the community, people are like, well, of course. You didn't know Chef Tim? I said, sorry, I'm late to the party once again.
The Brew
But
Chef.
Yes. So super excited to talk to him today and hear a little bit about his life story and some of his passion and the things that he does for this community, which is nothing short of spectacular. So before we get too far into it, a shout out to Chef Tim and the wonderful things he
Well,
does.
and I'm hoping he's going to share some tips on how to make Christmas and the holidays a little bit easier.
Yeah, and I'll just curl up in the fetal position under the table and listen to him and what that looks like because I'm about there and I could use a tip or two about now for sure. But in addition to that, this is a very special day because it is his birthday. So
That's
happy
right.
birthday, Chef.
I
Tim.
will present him with my cake that I didn't make.
You're gonna light him on fire here in the studio.
No, I'm not. I'm going to take this because you know what? Tim has the energy and the spark that never goes out.
I agree. I absolutely agree.
And so when I couldn't find a candle, I thought, oh, yes, you do have the perfect candle
That's awesome.
that represents what he's done and is doing for so many people.
It's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, we go back quite a bit. I had 2 foster kids, as you know, and he experienced a foster family. And then I had a silly little catering company when I lived in San Francisco that ended quite abruptly when the bartender cut his finger off. And
I think when you get to know Tim, you know what is that game? 8 Degrees of Separation. Everybody finds out that they have six that they have something in common with him, or there's, like we said before, food brings people together.
Yeah.
And it generally brings out good feelings and good thoughts and good times. And so imagine a career around that, which I understand, might not always be so good and might not always be so easy.
I just pick up the phone now and dial a dinner.
You know what? You get a certain age, and you're about ready to say, well, how can I make this simplified? So hopefully he can give us a little bit of advice when we come back from break to listen to him. But Tim also brought his lovely friend Connie, his sidekick, his sous chef, his shopper helper, his fiance, his best friend, his all of those good things. And every time I see her, she's always smiling too. So I don't know what he puts in that food, but something special because she's always in a really good space too. And I appreciate her keeping Tim supported because I'm sure he would admittedly say so that without her, he wouldn't be able to do what he does. So I'm delighted she's sharing studio space with us too. So you're fa-la-line this weekend.
I am.
And no fa-la-la in between?
Well, it just depends.
Yeah, we are overflowing with fa-la-la at Hope House.
Well, I do have my storage unit up. Ronald McDonald House always comes every year, and they take as many toys as they can, probably about 500. and that's their little toy store.
Okay.
And they give each family some fake money, and they can come down and buy gifts for
Oh, nice.
the kids.
That's
and
lovely.
siblings, and
So that's Falalai.
it is.
You are definitely doing
And then Thursday, I have interim home health care coming too, and they do in-home care, but those kids need presents too.
that. I know.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
So-
It is the season of giving, and I
Yeah.
hope if you're remembering that when you pass by Toys for Tots or
Where
you,
smiles are us.
yes, and also the boat parade coming up. We interviewed Captain
Yes.
Colin last week, and we want to make sure that we give a shout out to that so that everybody comes and donates a toy
Yes,
for our
yeah.
kids in our community.
We partner with Toys for Tots too.
Mm-hmm.
We don't care. I've got the key to their storage unit. They've got the key to mine. We have a child in need, and they don't have a bike, and we've got one. They come and take it, and
That's
that's
awesome.
yeah. It's really all about the kids 100%, and they come when they're through with their Christmas season, give us all their leftover toys. So,
Nice.
yeah.
You're like the like Christmas Island, right? All the toys that are
24/7.
absolutely. I
Yeah.
know I've been in there in July before, going, "Wow, this is there's something magical about that
Yeah,
space.
it-
There
there
truly
is, yeah.
because you know that it really is putting some smiles on some kids' faces, and that's spectacular to know that. Well, we were just gifted at the Hope House with tickets to the Singing Christmas Tree on Friday at CPCC. So our littles are getting all excited about that to go and
Good.
have that experience, and they've never experienced anything like that. So this is, we have a few days to prep them on what that experience will look like, and right now we're a busy place with 12 children. So
Well, and I hope
That's great.
they're coming for a visit at our storage unit.
I think so. I keep
Good.
telling them you're not going to see Miss Margie if we're not behaving. They are running through. It's the only thing I have to threaten them with.
Would you like some pictures of the storage unit? Or
That
just-
might be helpful. That
Little
might
teaser.
anything that I
You know,
need to
I
bribe.
don't believe in bribery, but it sure does work.
Well, the elves in the parking lot story is getting old. They're challenging me on that every time they see me. So, coming up, we are going to be talking with Chef Tim. If you feel that you want to give him a call or have an idea for a recipe or want to talk to him about anything, our number here is 844-STUDIO-4 or 844-788-3464, and we are going to have a good time this afternoon with him. I'm pretty certain about it. I know that his stories are mesmerizing. He's an amazing individual that's made a contribution to our community and the community at large in our greater world. I know
Yeah.
that he's made a difference in many people's lives. And so we're grateful here at Community Centered because we are trying to put hope back in the headline and a smile on people's face. So if you're driving in your car today on this lovely, what seems like fall day, North Carolina's a little confused,
No,
but
it's
that's
spring.
okay.
It's
Yeah, we'll
spring.
take it. We'll take it. I hope that you are thinking about Chef Tim when you're thinking about the good that's happening in our world and what he's put back in it. So shout out to him again. And you can find him on Facebook. He is Chef Tim Schafer. You can look him up there, and you can follow us, WSIC News, on Facebook, social media, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, X, and LinkedIn. All for the social media people out there. We've got it all for sure. And when we come back, Miss Margie is going to break it into the Tim story. Brace yourself.
All right.
Pour yourself a cocktail and listen in.
Community Centered with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle will return after this short break on the new 1059 100.7 WSIC.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. 12 Days of Christmas giveaways starts this week, December 7th through the 22nd. Listen each morning to Good Morning LKN, where winners will be announced. Some of the prizes include a scooter, karaoke machine, tech toys, and a free stay at Greystone Lodge in Boone. WSIC's 12 Days of Christmas giveaway starts this week. The Docksiders, performing at Kane Center for the Arts this Saturday, are almost sold out. The Docksiders will take you back to the year 1981. Their unique and eclectic tribute act of yacht rock features songs from Hall & Oates, Christopher Cross, Kenny Loggins, and more. The Docksiders, Saturday, December 9th at Kane Center for the Arts. To purchase your tickets, visit kanearts.org. Want to see more than 5 million Christmas lights at one time? The amazing Speedway Christmas at Charlotte Motor Speedway is happening now through January 7th. The show is open 6 to 10 p.m., rain or shine. Speedway Christmas at Charlotte Motor Speedway, now through January 7th. For tickets, visit charlottemotorspeedway.com. Santa is here. Schedule your time to take pictures between now and Christmas Eve in Birkdale. Appointments include Time with Santa and 8 digital images from a professional photographer. For more info and to schedule your time with Santa, visit birkdalevillage.com. Come enjoy a classic Christmas in Mooresville this Friday. Wagon rides, ice skating, face painting, life-size snow globes, and so much more. Enjoy some time with Santa in the Winter Wonderland experience this Friday night, starting at 5 p.m. For more info, visit mooresvillenc150.com. Have an event you would like to tell people about? Yard sales, estate sales, and everything in between? Visit WSICnews.com and click on events to submit your event today.
And now for a look at your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. It should be a beautiful day out there. We're expecting sunny skies and an afternoon high getting up near 56 degrees. As you head through the remainder of the day, partly cloudy skies. Overnight low is going to be above freezing again. We'll only be down around 36 degrees. This has been your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center.
Community Centered continues now. Here are your hosts, Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle, on the new 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Welcome back, listeners. We are encouraging call-ins. Tim, I can't thank you enough for being here today. You've been a very special person in my life, the Brew chef. And I did a little research today on you, and I found out your ingredients. And I thought this was brilliant.
You found my recipe, did you?
I did. I did.
My secret recipe.
Take one generous helping of culinary experience. Take a large dose of Hard Knocks, which you have. Stir in a giant portion of enthusiasm. You're sort of lacking on that, I might say.
Yeah, just a little bit.
A passion for food, a heart full of compassion, and several spoonfuls of entertainment, and blend it well. That was magical. No wonder you're so good at what you do.
I didn't write that recipe, but I'm very proud of it.
You should be.
It's really,
yeah.
It's amazing. I don't know where you found that, but it must have been in a really good cookbook.
It was.
Was it? Good. Good.
And I want to wish you a very, very special birthday.
Thank you.
You have lit many fires, I'm sure.
And I put a few out, too, over the years.
That's
let me tell
right.
you.
And I did not have any candles, but I thought this was a great example of the spark you give to everybody that never dies.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
That's special. Thanks.
Well, no wonder you're so good at what you do, because when you enter into somebody's home or do a private dinner party, you bring such a wealth of experience.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And enthusiasm, too.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Well, I know when you were talking about doing something, and I said, you got to call Tim.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I know what resonates the most with me, Chef Tim, is your humble beginning and where you came from.
Yeah.
Because I see that every day in the kids that I have at Hope House, and I think someday they could be a Chef Tim. I mean, it's just amazing to me that you had that kind of experience growing up, and you've turned it into something positive and something encouraging. And I want everybody listening to know that no matter what you're facing or what beginnings you're going through, you can always turn it and spin it into something really hopeful and full of smiles. So, Tim, tell us about that.
So, I don't follow dreams. I make goals. And even as a younger kid, I had goals, things that I want to achieve in life. And then we all have our dreams too, but I knew that if I stuck to reality and followed the path, I would end up where I am today. So my story runs deep as the deepest river in this country, but I was born in Morristown, New Jersey. My mother's a Welsh immigrant. She married a man that was in the U.S. Army. They met in London. My mother got pregnant. They got married. He was able to bring her back to the States because of the War Wives Act, which was great. My mother had three more children, three siblings of mine. We all have different fathers, but we're very blessed and fortunate that we all reunited
That is
last year.
amazing. Yeah.
For the first time, it was
Yeah.
all 2 years ago. For us all to be together with kids and stuff like that. So that was really cool. That was up in New Hampshire. But I guess the best way to start it was I was in an orphanage at 2. My mom ran into problems. She had all the other kids going on, and we were definitely living in poverty. So I went to live in an orphanage in New Jersey. I was there for about a year or so, not quite sure, it was a long time ago, and then just started bouncing around foster homes.
Yeah.
So I was in a half a dozen foster homes, also an adoptive situation that didn't work out. And then I landed in my last foster home that I was in for the longest of all for 5 years, which was a great experience.
Good.
And they all weren't, but this one
Yeah.
really was. Very caring people. They had over 40 foster kids over 40 years.
Ah,
Amazing people.
yeah.
They're definitely looking down right now,
Wow.
So that was a great experience. And then, I ran into some rough times, some hard knocks. I left high school. I left foster care at 16, so lived on the streets for a while. But by the grace of God, I found a job in food, which was the beginning of my passion for cooking
Okay,
and food and
good.
people. Got a job bagging groceries in a supermarket. I mean, what a great way to meet people and
Yes.
chat with people.
Yeah.
And I knew right off the bat that I loved people. I loved learning from people. I loved listening to people. So after a year of that fun job of bagging the groceries and collecting the carts and cleaning the bathrooms, I got the opportunity to work in the meat room. So I did a 2-year meat cutter's apprenticeship program, which was so invaluable. I never knew I was going to be a chef at that time, but
Yeah.
very invaluable. Did a 2-year butcher's apprenticeship program and stayed on for another 3 years. And then I went to work for a restaurant as a butcher, cutting meat. And then I got the itch. I got the itch, and I was starting to spend more time in the kitchen, talking to the cooks and the chefs, and it just excited me. So I ended up doing a 2-year cook's apprenticeship program. Meanwhile, I got accepted to the Culinary Institute of America.
Oh,
So in a
that's
matter of 4 or 5
fabulous.
years, my life
Yeah.
really turned around, and mostly
Yeah.
because, like I said, I followed my goals.
That's
I
right.
didn't know I wanted to be a chef, but I knew I loved to cook.
Yeah.
I love to entertain. I like to make people smile, and I knew how to get to them, and that was through their belly. So it just evolved into. So I went to Culinary Institute of America, 2-year program. Graduated in 1988. Opened my first. I went and did another apprenticeship, and then opened my first restaurant in 1990. Owned restaurants for almost 25 years in New Jersey, and moved down here in '04.
Why?
'04.
Why?
Well, quality of life.
Okay.
I was married at the time with 6 kids. We just wanted to have a bigger house,
Yeah.
more affordable living, and we just loved it. We visited friends, and it was just the beginning of it. So found a nice house in Denver. Found this old house in the middle of the woods in Sherrills Ford, and that was my North Carolina restaurant, which was Tim Schafer's at Lake Norman. So that was
Okay.
fun. Had a great 5 years at it. '08, '09 came along. I decided to get out of owning restaurant business. So since then, I've done some other projects, consulting. But the thing that's really stuck is doing at-home dinner parties.
Yes.
So I
Yeah.
do smaller dinner parties, 10, 20 people at their home. Some of my clients like me to make all the food at their place. Sometimes I do a little bit of prep, but just continuing for me to share my passion for what I do
Yeah.
and turning people onto a good time. And they know, because not everybody's sure. You said something earlier, it's private. You're going into somebody's house,
That's right.
right? And I cook for some celebrities who give me the code to their gate and let me go in their house, and they're not even there. And, I'm talking about some.
But did I read somewhere you did something for Michael Jackson?
So Michael Jackson was a dear friend of mine, but you're thinking of the other Michael Jackson, not Michael Jackson, the entertainer. Michael Jackson was the utmost authority on beer in the world.
Oh, okay.
So English
Okay.
guy wrote a dozen books on beer. Me
I
being
took
the
it the
brew
wrong
chef,
way, yeah.
it's funny because that was always his joke. The accent gives it away because he was English. But and that's another whole part of my career that I kind of just stepped into was becoming the brew chef. So, gosh, that's probably 30 years ago. I just initiated a great beer program at one of my restaurants.
And you used about 10 different types of beer, didn't
I use
you?
almost any kind of beer you can imagine to
Okay.
put in salad dressings,
Yeah.
to marinate meats, to make desserts with. I do a great flourless chocolate torte with beer in it. Beer's very friendly to food.
Well, you're
Doesn't-
going to be so disappointed in this.
I don't know. It's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good. So,
Well, one of the
it's been-
ingredients you're missing in here is gratitude. because you are very grateful.
You know, I think gratitude is an emotion.
Yeah.
You know, I really do. And the people that understand gratitude are typically very successful people in whatever. And I'm not talking wealth, not even in business, but in life, because paying it forward is key. Giving it back, paying it forward. And as you both know, I've been involved with probably over 1,000 charity events over my career, hundreds of charitable organizations, including Paul Newman, Marlo Thomas, Jerry Lewis. So I learned from them, and these are ultra wealthy, very well known people, how to pay it forward. Because Paul Newman said, you don't always have to break out your checkbook. There's always some way that you can pay it forward. And you have the gift of gab and the gift of cooking. And you found your way into get into people's lives and share your story, but also delicious food. And I tell people when I book parties, I'm going to make this as easy as possible for you, because that's what most people worry about. Oh, do I need to get this? Do I need to get that? How much time do I need? And we'll talk more about that for the holidays later. But I do make it very easy for people. You can reach me at cheftimschafer@gmail.com. I don't necessarily do big parties because I do most of the cooking and stuff at people's homes, but we have a lot of fun. We do wine dinners and beer pairing dinners, which are a lot of fun. So it's just...
And one of the things that I've heard about you, Chef Tim, is that you join them, right? You know, when you think about a private chef, right, they're like, oh, they're in the kitchen and, you know, you can't talk to them and everything. But you come out and you're like, hey, how is it? Can I taste it too?
Hey, is any of that good?
Right? So you want to be a part of it. So you make it realistic and you make it attainable for people too. It's not, it's magnificent food. I've had some of his amazing things, but you also make it very real.
Well, it's funny because the party always ends up in the kitchen anyway.
It's where everybody gathers.
It's the truth. And we did a party Saturday night, and everybody was in the kitchen all night, and it was okay. Got a little crowded at times, but it's just such a, to me, the best place in the house to party. But it's I like people watching me. I like people seeing me handle the food and the way we all handle the food, because we do have some other people that help us do some of the bigger parties. But just the way we carry about ourselves, you know, professional, clean,
very respectful,
beautiful presentations, plenty of food, and
you know, it's the one thing we all need, right? We need food and we need each other. And so we take that and we use that to catapult ourselves into conversations, into things that are very similar. I mean, I remember the first time I met you at a party around food, and I was like, this dude's got a lot in common with a lot of people here. I mean, it's incredible. And you said, is it the food that was a catalyst? Is it the enthusiasm? Is it the entertainment? What is it?
Everything.
Somehow
it's all these ingredients, right?
Somehow it all came together and produced a fabulous result. And it's incredible to see that. What are some of your favorite things to cook?
Yeah, well, that's a loaded question. So I'm really a big fan of Cajun Creole cuisine and American heritage cuisine.
Meaning?
Products that are indigenous to our country.
Okay.
There's a lot of Native American beans and vegetables and stuff that came from this country that nobody brought here. They started here, they grew here, we harvested them here. So I really like Cajun Creole food, but because I like the spice and I like, you know, just the whole heritage and culture of it. But
when we come back from break, I'm gonna challenge you to find one recipe that you think we all can't live without, or one ingredient that we can't live without when we come back. You're listening to WSIC 105.9 Community Centered. I'm your host, Debbie O'Hanley, with my friend Margi Kyle, and we are talking to Chef Tim, the Brew Chef.
Yes.
When we come back, we're going to hear a little bit more. Buckle up.
Community Centered with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle will return after this short break on the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Senator Tom Tillis is harnessing the power of clean energy to create a stronger America. Building a clean energy economy will create high-wage American manufacturing jobs and expand opportunities for hardworking families to thrive and prosper. Investing in clean energy innovation will strengthen our electric grid and make it more resilient against natural disasters and foreign hackers. Senator Tom Tillis understands that clean energy is vital to America's economic and national security. To become energy independent, America needs an all-of-the-above energy strategy. Wind, solar, and homegrown biofuels can help break our dependence on foreign energy, create a booming economy, and protect our environment for generations to come. America can lead the world in clean energy innovation. Call 202-224-3121. Thanks, Senator Tom Tillis, for building America's clean energy economy. Paid for by Americans for a balanced budget.
And now for a look at your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. It should be a beautiful day out there. We're expecting sunny skies and an afternoon high getting up near 56 degrees. As you head through the remainder of the day, partly cloudy skies. Overnight low is going to be above freezing again. We'll only be down around 36 degrees. This has been your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center.
Hello, everyone. This is Joshua Dovey from North Main Financial Group. We're blessed at North Main Financial Group that most of our clients come to us by referral. When folks have a good experience with us, they share that good experience with their friends, family, and colleagues. In doing so, when we're sitting with folks, then we're looking at their financial plan and seeing if it aligns with their goals and their desires for what yet lies ahead, be it college, be it retirement, or be it estate planning. If that sounds of interest to you, we'd love to hear from you. Reach out to us at northmainfinancial.com.
Some days, my active psoriatic arthritis makes it hard to get in the game. Now, the ball is in my court, thanks to treating my skin and joints with Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150-milligram injection for adults. Skyrizi helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi and visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean. Of course I use Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to clean tough messes off my stovetop and bathtub. But then I discovered I can also use it to easily clean my patio furniture and even my shoes. I'm hooked.
And when wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser Sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are in. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Sheets make cleaning look easy.
Jim Gaffigan here with some more Straight Talk. Now you can get a Walmart Plus membership, plus not pay for it, because it's included with Straight Talk wireless plans. You get free delivery with Walmart Plus, plus a Paramount Plus subscription included. Plus, you pay less for gas. That's a lot of pluses.
Only Straight Talk gives you unlimited 5G data and Walmart Plus included on select plans for free.
Straight Talk wireless, available at Walmart.
Requires service on Gold or Platinum Unlimited. One offer per eligible account. Paramount Plus Essential Plan only. Separate registration required. Additional terms apply.
Buying gifts in this economy? Forget about it. Introducing the 12 Days of Christmas giveaway. For your chance to win, register online at WSICnews.com/holiday. Kitchen essentials, tech toys, kids gifts, a mountain getaway, and much, much more. Oh, yeah. WSIC's 12 Days of Christmas giveaway. Winners will be drawn each weekday morning on Good Morning LKN starting December 7th through December 22nd.
Now more of Community Centered with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle on the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Welcome back to Community Centered and Chef Tim, the Brew Chef. Before break, I asked him, what is the one ingredient you can't live without? And his answer is...
You're going to stump me on this one. So let's put it this way. If I'm cooking with beer, obviously,
then it's beer.
Beer is an integral part of my cooking repertoire. Okay. Yeah. But on a normal, I'm a big fan of garlic.
I am too.
Big fan. Yeah. It's how you handle the garlic is usually what affects people. Like some people, raw garlic will not make them feel very well. But once it's cooked or roasted, roasted garlic to me is like gold. The flavors.
That's my dessert.
Oh,
I love it.
Connie knows I roast the garlic and I'm popping them in my mouth like they're candy, and they don't give you bad breath.
You're gonna
So
live
it's a
forever.
first date, yeah,
Yeah.
you know. And I know vampire's gonna be messing with me, but you know, it's one of those ingredients that changes when you cook it. So when
Yeah.
you roast garlic, it becomes very sweet. Like it's almost like candy. So
Yeah.
garlic,
Garlic? Okay.
fresh herbs,
Yes, I agree.
fresh herbs make the
See,
dish.
there's not one thing you can live with. But
No.
you have to have them all. And I
Yeah.
detected a little French accent when you said your repertoire.
Ah, oui, oui, je parle français un
They,
petit peu.
they
Oui,
must
oui.
teach you that in culinary
Yeah,
school.
yeah. I've worked with some French guys too. That you know, the first time I cooked in Canada, I cooked at the St. Catherine on St. Catherine, the big hotel there. I forgot the name of it right now, but everybody in the kitchen was Canadian French, and nobody spoke any English for the whole day that we were in there prepping.
Okay.
Until the end of the day, when I said "Au revoir, merci beaucoup," and they said, "What? You're not going to join us for a beer?"
Oh,
All day long, no
no.
English. So I was forced to learn a few more words of French. But
There you go. So I'm thinking this weekend I had to go to a little girls thing, and everybody was instructed to bring an app, and I thought, oh, you know what? Let me turn to TikTok because TikTok's all the rage with all these fast appetizers and things. Epic failure. Note to self: never try something new before you're going out the door. That needed to bake at 450 and set your oven on fire because what's your backup plan? So, Chef Tim, what advice do you have in this busy, crazy season when we're all bringing appetizers and we're trying to impress and we're trying to do what is some fast and easy things that you would say?
I want to know about your failure.
Yeah, it was epic. It was
It was epic.
it was pull apart pizza that you made in a spring foam pan with pizza dough
Yep.
and buttered garlic, all kinds of stuff, and it was 450. Caught my stove on fire.
Wow.
I had
and-
that last week.
Yeah,
So you
didn't-
called it blackened, right? It was
I
blackened.
did.
I
Well,
called
whatever
it
was.
smoking hot.
That's what I did. I did. I was like, oh, and my husband was like, is this another one of those TikTok recipes? I
Yep.
was like, note to self.
Note to self.
Go back to the basics here.
But you know, that's very common because people do tend to wait
Mm-hmm.
till the last minute. It's very common in my business. You see the chefs running around ripping their hair out because they're the ones that are waiting till the last minute to get things done.
Yeah.
So even at home, I've done lots of cooking classes over the years, and I always impress the people that they got to give themselves time.
Yeah.
Time to shop, time to put the shopping away,
Mm-hmm.
time to prep.
Mm-hmm.
It's all in stages, and that's what we call mise en place. It's a French term for everything in its place and a place for
Très
everything.
bien.
Merci beaucoup. So I just think that's important. It's almost like a life lesson, too, because it's almost like the Boy Scout motto, right? Be prepared. Be
Mhm.
prepared because something can go wrong. And
Mhm.
chances are, with all the things you're doing to get that holiday dinner together, something just may. So be prepared. Have a little bit of a backup plan, but give yourself time just in case something doesn't
Yeah.
work out, And we were talking about, all the parties that I do, I pretty much make everything from scratch. You don't always have to. There's so many great products out there to put out there with your charcuterie board, like different chutneys or jams or mustards. You're not going to make pepperoni, so you go to the store and you buy pepperoni, you buy prosciutto, and know your limitations. It's okay not to know. And I put up my email address earlier, so you can always email me with your questions. I welcome questions at any time. But I really think the key is not biting off more than you can chew,
Mhm.
not putting too much on your plate, and giving yourself enough time.
Yeah.
Really great
You know?
advice.
When I always in my freezer have my famous meatballs
Mm-hmm.
and a baked brie that's ready just to go in.
Yep.
So if I get caught off guard, I've
Bingo.
got something. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I also encourage to buy fresh. It's fresh and local. It's the kind of there's some local stuff in the area, but fresh is most important
Yeah.
to me. I do the meat and fish and stuff that I buy is all natural. You're gonna pay more money for it, but I know where it came from. I know
Yeah.
what to expect.
Mhm.
Nothing like buying a piece of fish and you're gonna cook it 2 days later and you open it up and
Mm-mm.
they're not eating that.
Yeah.
So and it's okay to look up stuff on TikTok or on Instagram or whatever.
Thank you.
It is because
Now, do
nobody
you have
has
any
a-
cookbooks?
I don't. I've been in many, but I don't have any in my own cookbooks. And I think at this point in my life, I don't know if I'm ever going to have enough time to put it together. But I have thousands of recipes that I've
Yeah.
written for different articles like LK and Connect
Yeah,
and
yeah.
other cookbooks and whatnot. So yeah, I got a pretty big repertoire of stuff that
Okay.
What about the thing about nostalgia food or what they call comfort food? What do you think about that?
So to me, comfort food is uh, uh, typically food that takes a little bit longer,
Mhm.
cooks a little bit slower, like a braised beef, a short rib, or something. But comfort food stew. I mean, when you think of
Yeah.
crock pot, people, oh, you don't use a crock pot, do you?
Yes,
Why, you
I
got
love
one?
mine.
I
Yeah.
love crock pots. Are you kidding me? Set it and forget it, right?
That's right.
You know, and
Yeah.
it's moisture, so it's not going to catch on fire. You know, it's a pretty safe piece of cooking equipment to use. But I just think, good steak off the grill is not bad either. I'm a fan of steak, but I really like the comfort style food because that's what I grew up with in foster care.
That's right.
I mean, my foster mom, who was the last home I was in, was a great cook. And we always got to go to McDonald's once a month just to prove to us how good a cook she was. But that's how she cooked.
Yeah.
You know, big pots, pressure cookers,
Yeah.
cooking for 8, 10. And then if any of us brought friends over, which we always did because they knew that Tim's
She's
foster
good.
mom
Yeah.
can cook, you know. So, but I learned a lot from her.
Yeah.
You know, because we always had to set the table. We always had to get dinner ready, you know, besides the food. And then we had to do all the cleanup afterwards, you know. So we had a respect for the food. And I tell you, you know, most of the homes that I lived in, the food was, you know, I mean, we got a lot of donations and stuff. So there's always enough food. Always seemed like there was enough food. And I knew that if I helped in the kitchen, I'd get to eat first. So that's my big secret. So, well, how'd you end up in the kitchen? I said, I'll tell you how I ended up in the kitchen. So, but I liked it. I always, I just think food is, I'm an artist and food is my medium.
Yeah.
You know, it's really what it comes down to. And I continue, I'm 61 today. I will be learning till I'm 81, 91, 101, because food is that. Food has so much substance.
Right.
You know, really so much material.
Yeah.
And I have probably 1,000 cookbooks. I haven't been through all of them. I've flipped through some of them, but some you can tell because like all my Julia Child cookbooks, all the pages are stuck together from gravy or whatever I was making. But you know, and that's, and Connie knows every once in a while I'll pull a book off the shelf and I'll just start going through it and I'll go, you know.
What intrigues you about a recipe, Tim?
Simplicity. You know, simplicity, not too many ingredients. I mean, sometimes, you know, my recipes tend to run a little long because I use a lot of different herbs and stuff that will increase the ingredient list, but simple and proven because there's a lot of recipes out there you try and you're like, did I miss something? What's wrong with this recipe?
Yeah.
Maybe the recipe just doesn't work.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of recipes aren't proven and tested so that when people make them, they're going to work for them. But I like it simple.
Yeah.
You know.
How has the air fryer changed your life?
So we have one. I'm going to use it one of these days.
Oh,
I've never used mine.
No.
So you know what
I
they
love
are?
it.
They're essentially a convection oven.
Yeah,
right?
that's what I
A
figured.
high temperature
Yeah.
convection oven with a small space, which enables the food to cook faster because you're not in a big oven and the air is circulating around. So I've never cooked in one, but we have one and
I'm
it's
so
sitting in the
glad to
corner of the
hear that.
kitchen. Sitting, it's about this big, you know. But we're going to because you know we have it. So we're
I
gonna give it a try.
enjoy mine because it's just my husband and myself. And so for two people, it's easier to turn that on than it is the oven and burn the place down like I tried this weekend with my pull-apart pizza.
Yeah.
So for me, it's faster and it's convenient.
Cool. We're
right?
going to give it a
For people.
shot
Yeah.
because, I mean, we try to eat fairly healthy. We definitely eat too much pizza, but we want to do wings in it because we like chicken wings.
Yeah.
So we said, you know, and everybody goes, oh, you got to try the wings first thing, you know. And once again, not to get too complicated, keep it simple, you know. But yeah, so we're going to give it a shot.
So when we come back from break, I think we're going to talk with Chef Tim about some of the philanthropic charity work that he's done in our community because I know that he's donated to many, many people. And I know that he has an amazing story about his reunion with his foster family that will probably bring a tear to your eye. I know I did, and watching it, the segment that they did on the news was really particularly moving. So when we come back, Chef Tim is going to share some of that with us. And again, I want to encourage you to call in 844-STUDIO-4 if you have a question related to a recipe or something to cook.
Whatever you
Chef
got.
Tim is here. He is listening and ready to answer your questions when we come back.
There's more of Community Center with Debbie O'Hanley and Margi Kyle. Coming up from the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
Here is your WSIC community calendar. 12 Days of Christmas giveaways starts this week, December 7th through the 22nd. Listen each morning to Good Morning LKN, where winners will be announced. Some of the prizes include a scooter, karaoke machine, tech toys, and a free stay at Greystone Lodge in Boone. WSIC's 12 Days of Christmas giveaway starts this week. The Docksiders, performing at Kane Center for the Arts this Saturday, are almost sold out. The Docksiders will take you back to the year 1981. Their unique and eclectic tribute act of yacht rock features songs from Hall & Oates, Christopher Cross, Kenny Loggins, and more. The Docksiders, Saturday, December 9th at Kane Center for the Arts. To purchase your tickets, visit kanearts.org. Want to see more than 5 million Christmas lights at one time? The Amazing Speedway Christmas at Charlotte Motor Speedway is happening now through January 7th. The show is open 6 to 10 p.m., rain or shine. Speedway Christmas at Charlotte Motor Speedway, now through January 7th. For tickets, visit charlottemotorspeedway.com. Santa is here. Schedule your time to take pictures between now and Christmas Eve in Birkdale. Appointments include Time with Santa and 8 digital images from a professional photographer. For more info and to schedule your time with Santa, visit birkdalevillage.com. Come enjoy a classic Christmas in Mooresville this Friday. Wagon rides, ice skating, face painting, life-size snow globes, and so much more. Enjoy some time with Santa and the Winter Wonderland experience this Friday night, starting at 5 p.m. For more info, visit mooresvillenc150.com. Have an event you would like to tell people about? Yard sales, estate sales, and everything in between? Visit WSICnews.com and click on events to submit your event today.
And now for a look at your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. It should be a beautiful day out there. We're expecting sunny skies and an afternoon high getting up near 56 degrees. As you head through the remainder of the day, partly cloudy skies. Overnight low is going to be above freezing again. We'll only be down around 36 degrees. This has been your weather forecast from the WSIC Weather Center.
Stop dreaming about the perfect lawn and make it a reality. Drum Landscape Supply now offers personalized lawn plans. Visit drumlandscapesupply.com and collaborate with our experts. Drum Landscape Supply, your local one-stop landscape shop.
Call now to speak with Debbie O'Handley and Margi Kyle at 844-STUDIO-4. It's community-centered on WSIC.
We are back, and this hour has just flown by. We need another hour at least with you. I hope you'll come back.
I'd love to come back.
Okay, yeah. Just a couple tips on making holiday proper or any entertaining that you're doing. I know I try to freeze as much as I can.
Well, my biggest tip is to have my phone number. You can call me to come cook for you, okay?
What is that phone number?
So our office number is 704-651-0042. And when you are ready to be a guest at your next party, you give me a call and we'll come by and take care of you and your guests. You have a wonderful time, lots of fun and great fun.
Say that number again, Tim.
It's 704-651-0042.
Awesome.
Okay.
How about an email?
Sure. It's Chef Tim Schafer, TIMSCHAFER, Chef Tim Schafer at gmail.com.
Great.
Beautiful. And they are in for an experience.
Oh, yeah. Just not this month. All booked up this month.
Okay.
Next month, but.
Definitely something special.
Cool.
I know that in this community, you've done a lot for some local charities, Little Smiles, Hope House. You've done our auction. Dove House, I think you've worked with
Dove
them.
House.
Lots of places. And you mentioned before Paul Newman's charity and Marlo Thomas. But I know that New Jersey is the home state and the home place where it all began for you. And I know that you do a lot of things there as well. But tell us just a little bit more about going back there and returning to your foster family this year.
Oh, that was amazing. So I love Facebook. You know, some people have mixed feelings about Facebook. I don't care. I love Facebook because not only do I keep in touch with hundreds and hundreds of my friends from the past, I meet new friends, friends that have things in common with me, but I also found one of my foster brothers. His name's Ronnie, and I found Ronnie, and I hit him up, and I'm like, where are you? He's like, I'm in Florida, blah, 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 a little small talk. Hey, we should get together someday. And he said, hey, do you have any idea where Guy is, one of our other foster brothers? I don't know. Let me look. I brought him up on Facebook. He lived 15 minutes away from Ronnie in Florida.
Oh, my gosh. What a story.
Crazy. So we all get on a conference call thing. And I said, okay, I'm coming down to hang with you guys. I'll fly in there about north of Tampa. I said, I'll fly into Tampa. So they arranged News 9 Tampa to be at the airport when I got off the plane, which was just amazing. I mean, we were all bawling at that one. But, you know, they had a big sign, 40 years, I forgot something about 40 years because it was over 40 years, 45 years that we saw each other. So what a blessing. So we all spent the weekend together, and then we went to New Jersey and hooked up with 2 other foster brothers and actually got to go into our old foster home, which is now a synagogue.
Oh my gosh.
Which at first, the guy who came to the door, he's a studying rabbi. There's been a lot of bad stuff that's happened in Jersey as far as hate crime and stuff. So he was a little hesitant to open the door. And Ronnie was standing there by himself. We were way out on the sidewalk, and the guy was kind of looking out the door. And what can I do for you? And he said, "Oh, we used to live in this place when it was a foster home. Any chance we can come in?" Close the door, and I'm like, and we were all like, "Knock again, knock again." So he knocked again, and the guy let us in. And sure enough, I know his parents. I went to high school with them.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it's
What a
6 degrees.
small
So
world.
he let us go all through the house, and it's a synagogue, and it's called Tova Israel now, and it's a school. It's a synagogue and school and a place of worship. But we were like a bunch of crying babies because it's a big old house, big, like 6 or 7 bedrooms, big, bunch of bathrooms, big place. And we haven't been in this house in 45 years.
I
And
bet a rush of memories.
Oh, it was amazing.
Oh.
And they moved. So I stayed in Morristown until I moved here. So I went by the house all the time. It was right there. But I never thought to try to get back into it and to check it out. But to have all of us go in, and we had a couple of news stations come, New Jersey news stations come and cover it. And it was just, that's one of the things I tell people, like, don't follow dreams, because that was a little bit of a dream, but make it a goal.
Yeah.
And maybe it won't happen, but to have a goal to me is more realistic than trying to follow your dreams, which I don't mean to say anything bad about that, because dreams are great, but we set a goal and we met it.
That's right.
And now we're going to be together for the rest of our lives, and I also reunited with my siblings, like I mentioned earlier. So it was
sister,
a year of just, all this beautiful stuff happening. And I have a motto. It's all about us. It's all about the people, because all the other stuff doesn't really mean anything. You don't get to take it with you. Does it maybe give you quality in life or do whatever it does for you? Money's not a bad thing, but people are the most important thing. I have a list of words that start with P that are relevant to success in life, business and life. And I ask people, relative to business, what's the most important word that starts with a P? They say profit. Because if you don't make profit, you won't be in business. Posture. They go through all these P's. I say, it's people. Because all that other stuff, you ain't going to have profit if you don't have people. Right. People working with you, people supporting your business. I mean, that's what it's all about. And there was an article written about me saying I was the most promotional chef in New Jersey, or person in New Jersey. And there were 3 other people, Christy Whitman, Joe Pesci, and somebody else, a writer that I don't remember. And I was just shocked that I was in with these group of people, but I am. Because, Connie knows, we go out sometimes, she's probably like, oh, there he goes again, because I meet people and we start talking, and a lot of times they may know of me or the restaurant or something, and it's just that connection, it electrifies me to hook up with people that, are interesting, or even people that aren't, that are a little down, and I get to talk to them. Next thing you know, we spark up a conversation. And the last thing they'll say, it was such a pleasure meeting. I hope to see you again. And I feel the same way most of the time. So,
So 2023 for you has really been about putting hope back in the headlines.
Oh,
I think you've been living and breathing that out.
It's been.
Wasn't there a trip to Austria too?
Yeah, we went over and cooked and filmed in Austria. I guess it was last month for a grill company out there. We're going back in June to do a dinner for 150 people, and we're also heading
just a small dinner party.
Yeah, small dinner party, just some friends. Actually, some people probably coming from the States to join us, and then we're going to Istanbul.
Oh wow!
Which, as long as everything stays okay in that part of the world, we'll be there probably in September.
Okay.
To promote the grills.
So when you visit a foreign country, are you actively looking at ingredients that are indigenous to that area so that you can incorporate that?
Absolutely.
Very cool.
When I cook in Belgium, I look for the beer
and
the chocolate.
Okay.
But where we were in Austria was absolutely beautiful. It was at the base of the Alps. We worked at a 3-star restaurant, and super nice family that ran this restaurant. And he goes, okay, I'll be back to go. I have to go get the herbs. I said, so what? The herbs. I said, okay, whatever. And he came back with like an armful of all different kinds of herbs from his garden.
Wow.
So that kind of stuff really blows me away when you see people that are making the effort to bring flavor to their food and freshness to their food. And herbs are pretty easy to grow. I mean, that's pretty much all I grow is herbs because they're expensive. It's great to have them at your fingertips.
My only Christmas tree is the rosemary one.
There you go. And there's nothing like having that fresh rosemary
I love it.
or any of the other herbs for that matter. So, and I said earlier, I think that's probably one of my keys to flavor, to making food taste delicious. And people go, I made that dish at home. It just didn't taste the same. Well, you probably didn't put all those herbs.
Yeah.
Dry herbs have their place too, but they're not fresh herbs.
No.
It's so I think that's an important thing.
I do too.
Fresh herbs are definitely a game changer.
Absolutely.
And I think about all of the fast foods and the easy go convenience kind of stuff that don't really have any taste, so to be using fresh ingredients and things like that, farmers markets, things like that are spectacular.
Excellent. And in Europe, they're amazing.
Well, even,
huge markets.
when my herbs are starting to go, when fall comes, I take them, chop them up, put them in ice cube trays and put the bone broth on top.
Oh, that's a good idea.
And so when I want to just give a kick to some soup or whatever, you just get a couple ice cubes.
And if
throw
somebody's
it in.
not a meathead, they could just put water. And I know some
That's
people
right.
that do oil too.
Well, I've never done the oil.
Yep.
I always do the bone.
Yeah. Yeah, well, if you're going to use it
Broth.
in food, you might as well add flavor to it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
When's the book coming out?
No, I don't know. If it's good, I better get home and work on it now. But, I have
That's a
lots
goal.
and lots of recipes.
That's a goal, Tim.
That's a goal. Or that's a big goal. That's a field goal. But we'll see. I've been writing for over 30 years, so I have accumulated a lot of recipes and text and material. But right now, I'm just focusing on doing the parties, getting through the holidays, and we'll see what happens in January.
If people want to look at some of your recipes, do you have some published?
Yeah, absolutely.
On LKN Connect.
Yeah,
I know
LKN
you
Connect
do.
is a great site. I push it. It's a great site to find out what's going on in the Lake Norman area, all around the lake. So I write Tim Schafer's food column. I don't know what we call it, but we feature a recipe. I think we've done 6 or 7, maybe even 8 recipes so far.
Yeah.
But besides my landing page, it'll give you all the information about how to get a hold of me and everything, and give you a little bit of my background. It's just a great site to find out what's happening.
Yeah.
Restaurants.
I Googled you this morning, and I found all sorts of things.
Oh, neat.
So.
Any bad stuff over there?
No.
You picture me holding my numbers from the post office? You did Google me. I think you got a cookbook right there.
She did her homework, that's for sure.
There you are again.
Any words of wisdom you want to leave us with in this holiday season, Tim, that you think might a listener who's sitting probably in traffic, who is our captive audience right now, might hear?
Take care of yourself and take care of others.
Yes.
I mean, that's really what it's coming down to in this crazy world we're in right now. And, with all the despair we have, I think we have to rise above, and share the love and, open the doors, you know what I mean? Do stuff like that, help the lady put her cart back, just the little things.
Practice kindness.
Practice kindness for people that you don't even know.
Yeah.
I know.
You're not going to get any return.
I know.
It's like buying the coffee for the guy in back.
I thought I was going to get arrested last night. I said to the police officer when Woody was getting, sworn in, I said, "Thank you for everything that you do." He looked at me. He said, "What did you say?" So we don't ever hear that. And
That's nice, and I do all the time.
I do too.
I wave at the policeman.
I do
I wave at
too.
the firemen, and they're like, "This crazy guy waving at me." But it's those little things I think that make up a big change.
Well, that's what community centered is all about, is putting
It
hope
is.
back in the headlines and a smile. Tim, you've been a delight to talk
Thanks.
to. I know that we're going to have a part 2 coming up
we
in
have to.
January.
I
I
love
can
that.
feel it.
Yeah.
When we're all tired. And
Maybe I'll bring some food next time.
That would be spectacular.
That is
You
my
just-
best calling card.
See, I
just-
brought food,
Just
but
put
I
a
didn't make
smile
it.
on Bill's face. Bill's smiling from the sound booth over there. But thank you so much for sharing your time with us, your wisdom, your experience. It's been a delight
Thank
as
you.
usual.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Connie,
it's a
for
pleasure.
joining us too. And
Yes.
I hope that you have a spectacular birthday today.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
You bet.
Merry Christmas from 105.